And by the way, guys, I'm never agreeing to anything. All right? What I mean by that is the adjuster creates the estimate, sends it over to you and says, hey, I sent you a copy of my estimate. Let me know if everything looks okay, and I'll get a payment out. All right? Or I'll get it submitted and the payment will go out. Right? Well, no. Okay? Because if we do that, we go try to do something later, they could say, hey, you agreed. You agree. And they still do that even when I don't agree, right? In that situation, it's called undisputed cash, right? So we agree that they at least owe that much, okay? And they agree that they at least owe that much, and they know it, all right? But unfortunately, what they try to do is they try to hold the money like as a leverage play because they know you need it. Okay, so if it's supplemental money and you're asking for 15 and they come up with an extra 5, you know, and they say, I didn't get to your 15, I got 5, let me know what you think, and if you agree to it, I'll get the payment out. Well, I don't agree to anything. Okay, so my response might be, well, look, I can't agree to it, okay, because it's going to take us some time to vet it, plan out the job, estimate it. We're moving forward now. We're already building. It's going to take us a while to go through that process, right? And so I can't agree to it. I do agree that it's going to take at least that much, right? But I'll tell you what, go ahead and send the money, send the money, send the money. Go ahead and send the money, okay? You'll hear me say that a lot today too. Go ahead and send the money. And if anything comes up, I'll let you know. Fair enough? Okay, great. Works every time. You know what I mean? Every single time.
They all had multiple trades. They were all complex. They were all done or subbed out to subcontractors, coordinated, but they still said it's not complex. And I've over and over, like everything I said, they still rebutted with, "Oh, that's not complex." But here's more documentation. That's not complex.
Not complex. Is this before the build or after the build?
This is before the build, and I think one might have been after the build. And we also contacted the, what was the name? International something. It was like the complaint department, like the highest complaint department they had. And they were actually worse than the adjuster.
Wow.
Not helpful whatsoever.
Who was the adjuster you were dealing with? Was it a field adjuster or inside? Field adjuster.
Yeah.
But it's a field adjuster, right? So part of what I'm going to talk about today is I don't have, you know,
Including supervisor.
I think I may have like 5 different pieces of advice for that situation, right? And you would just have to see if it works. You know what I mean? Like, and you never know which one's going to work. But I will say that I would never, ever, ever send anything of mine ever, like supplement or any kind of request for another look, anything like that, to the field adjuster. I believe the field adjuster is nothing more than a pawn, okay? And most of the time, that field adjuster does not have much authority. Again, exceptions to the rule. Like if you're dealing nationwide, you might have to deal with the same adjuster all the way through, right? If you're dealing with Safeco, you might have to deal with it.
Yeah,
okay. You might, but I mean, but if it depends. If it's after a storm, they're usually gone. Like after they write their check, their first payment, then they issue payment, then they're gone. Okay. Liberty Mutual, they're usually gone. Like they come in, write a check, gone. Okay. So what I like to do is let them write. Like so, I'm always at all times, and I'll talk about how I deal with field adjusters, right? But I'm at all times going to be diplomatic, and I'm sure you are, right? Diplomatic, professional, respectful. I'm trying to build rapport. I'm trying to work with them, and I'm trying to just basically. You're going to hear me say this a lot. I believe that as a contractor, we would be contractually obligated. Like, what are we hired to do? We are contractually obligated to perform all repairs that are prescribed by the insurance claim for the total amount of the approved RCV, okay? But that's our job, is we're there to perform all repairs that are prescribed by the insurance company. Along that line, when I come into an insurance adjuster inspection, I'm not there to tell the adjuster how to do it. In fact, I don't have an estimate, okay? Do you have an estimate? No, I don't, not with me, right? I mean, like I do have one kind of started, the framework of one started, and by the way, I use Xactimate like you know. Oh, can you give me your ESX file? Yeah, I can, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, I can. We'll get into that too, like there's a strategy about that, the data file, right? But however, I don't have an estimate. You know why I don't have an estimate? because I don't know what it is that you've approved for me to even do, okay? So like, I'm here to perform all repairs that are prescribed by you, all right? So I'm just here to get my marching orders. I'm here to get my instruction list, if you will, all right? And so like, I'm there from that. And so when they're there saying, yeah, I think the roof needs to be replaced. Okay, how would you like me to replace that roof? What are you going to put on there? Are you going to, I don't know if you know, but I checked into the building codes before I came over, and everything on that roof has to be taken off and replaced. What are you talking about? I don't see any, there's no damage on the pipe jacks and all these different things. No, I checked it out with the codes, and actually, everything's got to be replaced. He's like, why? Well, because, all flashing must be replaced where rusted, damaged, or deteriorated. He's like, well, I'm sorry, I don't see any hail damage to any of these pipe jacks. No, the code doesn't say it has to have hail damage. It just says damage. He's like, well, I don't see damage at all. I don't see any rust. I see a little rust on this one, a little deterioration on this one, but I don't see any damage. Say, okay, bud, well, how were all of the pipe jacks installed? How was the flashing installed? With nails. It has holes. It has damage. It's done. It's gone. It must be replaced. You know what I mean? So like, if I'm there with the adjuster though, I'm not trying to jam that down their throat like I'm a know-it-all, an expert, right? I'm just gently like, oh no, actually I looked it up. It's, I can get you over the code if you want. Do you need that, right? And I'm just gently pushing them, gently trying to take them as far as they'll go. And then as soon as they say something like, oh no, we don't pay for overhead and profit. I'm making my best case for why I think we're getting it, why we need to have, why it's complex and why all of that, right? Remember though, we're just talking about an estimate here. It's all just a hypothetical because it's before the build, which by the way, I'm always going to supplement before the build. Okay, not after the build. I'm going to supplement after the build, but only after I've supplemented before the build. You see what I mean? Like, I'm going to supplement all the way through. But like, I'm not going to show them an estimate because I don't know what it is to do yet, right? But I'm going to gently push them as far as I can. And if it's overhead and profit, and make my best case. And they say, oh, no, we don't pay for that. Nope, not complex. Nope, we don't know for that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, so I think what I'm hearing you say is that if you were going to put overhead and profit on there, it would just get kicked back down anyway, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, well, please don't put it on there then, because we don't want that to happen, do we? Right? That's actually my response. And by the way, if he is telling the truth, which is probably not, but if he is telling the truth, why would we want to delay it? Okay? So like, what I want is coverage. The field adjuster, that's what I want. I want coverage. I want them to say that the roof needs replaced. I don't care about how much it costs. In fact, I don't want to give them a heads up about how much I'm actually going to nail them for. You know what I mean? I may not even say anything about the flashing. You know what I mean? But first, I want to get it nailed down that he's acknowledged the damage, okay, and that it needs replaced, all right? I want to also make sure he or she sees every room, closet, and hallway. Full detailed inspection. Because if an adjuster goes there, they're not going to do a full detailed inspection by themselves, right? Very rare that they will. I've seen some that do it. I've learned from some of those cats, right? Like, and by the way, when I show up to my field adjuster meetings, I come with a camera like that right there. In fact, that camera, without the gadgets on it though, but around my neck, right? You know how adjusters show up all high tech, and they got all their little gadgets and their laser measuring? Well, it's my goal to be more high tech than them, right? Like straight up. I'm coming with my Canon backpack over there, and I got that, right? And I got the other camera back, and I got my drone case. Who all here uses drones? Drones. Get drones, guys. Get a drone, all right? Even if you have to go to a freaking pawn shop and buy a used one, go get a drone, right? But so I show up with my drone case, I got a big tool belt on and freaking flashlights, and I really just need that mini mag light, but I got the big one hanging down too, I got like some tools, and I got a drill sometimes, if there's a board up, big hammers and stuff, but like the thermal imaging and laser measures, and anything I really can to just like, mine's bigger than yours, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm coming there, and that's usually intimidating, but yet I'm not acting like that. Like in the tone of my voice, I'm just a little humble little me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here. Let me step out of your way. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, you know what you're doing, dude. You know what I mean? They know I know what I'm doing by the questions I'm asking them and things, but I'm really just there getting my marching orders, finding out what we're going to do here, right? And then, so I'm going to get my marching orders, my prescription, if you will, by the way, a lot of times when we get involved, there's already an estimate. There's already a prescription. And maybe that's the re-inspect, okay? So it's a little bit different. Like, no, I don't have my estimate, but I can tell you my job is to do whatever is prescribed by you, and I couldn't follow the prescriptions that have been set forth so far. Like, I went to go and carry out the prescription that was there and found out that I can't. And that's why I had you guys come back out here. You know what I mean? So that's always, I think it's from the place in which we are. Okay, we'll take a break into this, but one final note on that, like, and we'll talk about this a little bit more today, but one big problem that I hear about a lot is, dude, I can't get them to pay the appropriate waste factor, right? And I can't get them to pay for ridge and starter, and they say, no, we don't pay. That's included. That's already included with the jingles. That's included with the waste. That's this and that. Right. Okay, great. You're going to feel sheepish about this, but I think that you're so frustrated with that, and it's all because you're having that argument at the wrong point in the timeline. Okay? So you're arguing with the adjuster about how much waste it should be. For example, my estimate might have friggin' 22% waste and ridge and starter. You know what I mean? Like cut up roof, you know. But I mean, I'm going to start high. I'm not going to start low. Not a chance am I going to start low. I'm going to start high and let them back me down. And so I supplement before the bill. And a lot of times they're going to be like, through that process, they're going to be like, oh, no, we're not paying for all that. We only pay 5% on gable and 10% on hip. And we don't pay for ridge and starter because that's already included. Well, that's ridiculous, okay? But I'm here to tell you, like, so they're wrong about that. But guess what? I'm wrong too. And so are you guys. Whatever number you're using at that point, whatever number it is, you're wrong. Okay? I'm just telling you you're wrong. I know that you're wrong. I know that I'm wrong. Because nobody knows how much waste it's going to be until they build the job. Correct? Nobody knows that. The adjuster doesn't know it, and you don't know it. Neither do I. I mean, bless you. There's some like little waste factor calculators out there that you can use, right? There's different ways you can cut. There's a lot of guys in here, gals, smarter than me, that could tell me, oh no, you make this many cuts up the side, and I could tell you exactly how much it is, right? Great, tell me how to, you know, that's good. But like still, you can't prove it until you do the job. And that's like that with a lot of these items. You can't prove your argument until you do the job, right? And so like, my thing is, if they argue with me about waste, I'm going to tell them like, okay, put down whatever you want. I don't care. But I think you'll agree with me that you're going to pay for what we actually do, aren't you? Well, yeah. You know what I mean? If it goes over that, you let us know. Okay, great. And I can't tell you how many times that I've gotten this approved after the build with like an ABC invoice, which is so silly. You know, like they should never, ever, ever approve that. They should never approve the waste based on an ABC invoice. But they do because it's documentation. And I'm telling the truth because I'm never, ever, ever going to lie to an insurance company. That's a felony in any state. And based on what I told you earlier, I cannot afford to even have the hint of impropriety. You know what I mean? Go for it.
What about them working out of using an Eagle View for their measurements where it clearly states right
on the Eagle View page? Yeah. So I think you use that. You use the waste count. Right. So you use that.
So they're going to use that for their basis of calculating.
They can do that before the build, though, not after, because they have no standing to answer any questions after the build. Only I can. I build it.
I mean, when they're
you know what I mean?
So they're using that Eagle View to create their estimate.
Sure.
But up front, they're not giving you your starter. They're not giving
Agreed.
you the hip and ridge.
Agreed.
But it clearly states that it's not included in those waste factors that they're already using.
Agreed 1,000%. So I think what you do is you make your best case for it, like with anything else, before the build, right? And you make a case. You try. You don't just leave it, you know. And I would say you use those waste factor calculators, use the page with the waste on the Eagle View, right, as your documentation as to why you came up with the waste. Like when they want to argue about it, say, why do you have this much waste? Use that as your justification, right? They're going to push you back. Just take it. Wherever they end up, take it. I would say settle, but I hate that word because we're not settling on anything, right? But accept whatever they say. And by the way, guys, I'm never agreeing to anything. All right? What I mean by that is the adjuster creates the estimate, sends it over to you and says, hey, I sent you a copy of my estimate. Let me know if everything looks okay, and I'll get a payment out. All right? Or I'll get it submitted and the payment will go out. All right? Well, no. Okay? Because if we do that, we go try to do something later, they could say, hey, you agreed. You agreed. And they still do that even when I don't agree, right? But when they bring that to me, my response is always, now first, Stephen, you can testify that he's quiet. I'm a little nervous. He's going to get me later, right? But you can probably attest to this, is that in that situation, it's called undisputed cash, right? So we agree that they at least owe that much, okay? And they agree that they at least owe that much, and they know it, all right? But unfortunately what they try to do is they try to hold the money like as a leverage play because they know you need it, okay? So if it's supplemental money and you're asking for 15 and they come up with an extra 5, you know, and they say, I didn't get to your 15, I got 5, let me know what you think, and if you agree to it, I'll get the payment out. Well, I don't agree to anything, okay? So my response might be, well, I can't agree to it, okay, because it's going to take us some time to vet it, plan out the job, estimate it. We're moving forward now, we're already building. It's going to take us a while to go through that process, right? And so I can't agree to it. I do agree that it's going to take at least that much, right? But I'll tell you what, go ahead and send the money, send the money, send the money. Go ahead and send the money, okay? You'll hear me say that a lot today too. Go ahead and send the money. And if anything comes up, I'll let you know. Fair enough? Okay, great. Works every time. You know what I mean? Every single time. They can't not send the money. And if they were to say something silly like, oh no, we need you to agree to it, I'm going to just hold my ground. I'm not agreeing to anything. I'm not agreeing to anything. No way. I mean, like, think about how many times the adjuster stood with your client in the foyer as you're leaving, and the adjuster's approving damages, and they're explaining to your client how the check's going to be sent, and how the process is going to go, how the depreciation works, right? And they're saying, you know, when you go and do the job, if anything comes up, just let us know about it. You can do a supplement, right? Don't they do that? They're trained to do that, you know. So let's use that to our advantage. When it comes up later, we'll let you know. You follow me? You don't have to agree to anything that they try to make you. So I always take the money off the table. I'm getting all the money. Every single time they add money, I'm getting it off the table. Send that money. You know what I mean? And I'm using the money and building the job, and I'm still supplementing. I'm not, see, I think when people think they have to make a quick snap decision and accept what's there, and then they're done supplementing. They're done. No. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that anymore. All right? So anyway, 15-minute break. See you in 15. All right?